California and the United States of America. Brad Paisley is here with us tonight. I'm going to forgive that hat for tonight. You know, we're now 18 days away from the election and 95 days from our next insurrection. The window to reach voters is closing, and the texts and emails asking for money are ratcheting up. For reasons I cannot even begin to fathom, the race is very close. The pollsters are calling it a toss-up, as in I'm about to toss up my lunch from this election already. But Trump holds a commanding lead in the annoying emails department, that's for sure. According to the New York Times, the Trump campaign has sent more than 7,400 emails asking for money since he entered the race in November of 22. That's around 11 emails a day for almost 2 years. You know, a lot of times these emails, they have subject lines like action required or confirm payment information. Basically the same tactics hackers use to steal your grandma's social security number. But sometimes he sweetens the pot with an exciting offer. I actually got one myself last week. It said, "Friend, you're invited to Mar-a-Lago," which is, for me, feels like a trap. But there was a but. But this contest ends October 10th at midnight, so you have to enter to win right now. Anyone want to guess how you enter? You enter by giving him money, which is the same way you enter a strip club is how you enter. I instructed my team to put this contest together because I want to meet one of you, and you can bring a friend. Like anyone who would enter this has a friend. Free flight, free hotel, free meal. Now, what they're doing is they're trying to create this fantasy that if you give them some money, you and Trump are going to hang out in Florida, hit the driving range together, maybe a little brunch, maybe you'll jump in the limo, do a run to Taco Bell. I mean, he did call you friend, right? And there are also special Trump clubs you can join for a fee, like the Ultra MAGA membership. He says, "I'm only reaching out to my bravest and most trusted patriots." Oh, thank you. Look at this picture. It's like Trump won the J.D. Power Award for least reliable family-sized sedan did it or something. Some of these clubs claim their members get the opportunity to give Trump advice in person, which is obviously not happening. Would you take advice from a person you just scammed out of their vacation money? But this is the best part. According to the Times, many of these contests he's running have no confirmed winners. From all of the contests, the Times looked into 40 of them. From 40 contests, the only winner his campaign confirmed was a guy named William McGuffin and his son, who got to meet Trump at a Formula One race. That was it. And the only reason they got that is Trump probably thought they were bringing him a McMuffin and misunderstood the... But the fact that his campaign has offered almost zero proof for these exclusive offers, that hasn't stopped Trump from offering them. They claim you can meet Trump Jr. in London. That's right. Travel 5,000 miles to share a tea bag with a douchebag. You can pay for the privilege of signing a Thanksgiving card for Donald Trump, which Trump doesn't actually read the card. He puts gravy on it and eats it. You can get your name on the vice president's plane, which, can you imagine how sad your life would have to be to even want that as a prize? You can enter to win the flag Trump got to second base with at CPAC. They're also selling official limited edition Trump medal cards. They come in black, gold, and platinum and carry no membership privileges whatsoever. I'm only sending this to my top supporters, top patriots like you. Look at the black one. It says, "It's metal and etched with my mugshot to show the whole world we will never surrender." I guess, you think we're going to surrender? Oh, look at this. It's etched. I don't know, maybe I'm being too cynical. Maybe at Thanksgiving dinner after grace, Trump tells his family to quiet down and reads aloud the bigliest, most beautiful Thanksgiving card filled with the names of 5,000 people who donated 11 hard-earned dollars apiece and gives thanks to God for each one of them. Maybe that's probably what he does, right, Guillermo?
That's right, Jimmy.
Yeah. Donald Trump is all over the place right now, both literally and figuratively. He's canceled a number of high-profile television appearances in favor of cozy, friendly chats with the wannabe bro Rogans of the podcasting world. I'm learning about all these weird right-wing swamp creatures lately, thanks to Donald Trump. None of these guys, none of them spend even a minute pushing back on his nonsense. He says whatever he wants. Today he was on something called the PBD podcast, where he told the host how much black people like him.
Black men
really like me. And I think black women do too, but they have a woman who is black. Well, you would say she's Indian, but she is black. But she really, a lot of people didn't know, which is true.
And by true, I believe you mean not true. No one didn't know that, okay? Trump loves to be the keeper of information he thinks no one else has. Chocolate is very bad for dogs. A lot of people don't know that. No one knows how short February is. February is very short. But while his brain may be softening, it is very fertile. His brain is as fertile as a turtle.
Did you think you were going to say fake news, or was it just kind of came out and then it stuck? You're like, this is going to stick. Was it intentional?
I don't know if that's the first time I've used it, but I do get credit for having been an originator of the term. I mean, a lot of times I have a very fertile mind. I come up with very good names for people.
Very creative.
Pocahontas,
yes.
Lots of good names.
It's very fertile. It's literally full of fertilizer. Yesterday, Con Juan took his gifts to South Beach for a Univision town hall. This was not a Fox town hall full of hand-picked sycophants. These people were serious and for once put this nut job on the spot.
Could you explain your gun control policy to the parents of the victims of school shootings?
I could. We have a Second Amendment and right to bear arms, essentially. And I'm very strongly an advocate of that. I think you need that. I think that if you ever tried to get rid of it, you wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't be able to take away the guns because people need that for security. They need it for entertainment and for sport and other things. But they also, in many cases, need it for protection.
Excuse me, the question was...
Could you explain your gun control policy to the parents of the victims of school shootings?
I guess the answer is no. All these things, all the things Republicans were so concerned about in terms of mental degeneration when Joe Biden was running are clearly happening to Donald Trump. But what's totally disqualifying for the goose, suddenly not a problem for the gander at all. These voters at this event asked great questions, better than any town hall I've ever seen.
Los perros ni los gatos de sus gentes.
The authorities in Springfield, Ohio, have clarified that the Haitians are not eating their cats and their dogs. Do you really believe that these people are eating the people's pets?
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. This was just reported. I was just saying what was reported. That's been reported. And eating other things, too, that they're not supposed to be. But this is, all I do is report. I was there. I'm going to be there. And we're going to take a look, and I'll give you a full report when I do.
Oh, good. All right, he's going to go up there and investigate this pet-eating mystery for himself. And what is this eating other things, too, now? That is, the puppies and kittens weren't enough? What other things could they be eating? They're eating shoes and they're eating feet. It's horrible. How much garbage are his followers supposed to swallow? Trump was asked a lot of tough questions by the Univision crowd. He answered none of them, including this one from a voter who asked if he really believes climate change is a hoax.
So I always feel that with the climate, and I have been I have been an environmentalist. I built many things. I own Doral right next door, and we did that in a very I got awards, environmental awards for the way I build it, for the water, the way I use the water, the sand, the mixing of the sand and the water. I mean, many different, but I've had many awards over the years for environmental, the way I've built.
Oh, really? Well, let's see them. I'm sure you have them. Let's see those awards. He uses the water, the sand, the mixing of the sand and the water. Oh, good. There was a hurricane and my house blew away, okay? At one point, Mr. Environmental Patient was asked if he could say 3 nice things about his opponent, and you're not going to believe it. He had a little trouble with that.
What are the 3 virtues that you see in Vice President Kamala Harris?
That's a very hard question. That's the toughest question. The other ones are easy. Look, I'm not a fan, but she seems to have an ability to survive, and she seems to have a nice way about her. I mean, I like the way, some of her statements, some of her, the way she behaves in a certain way, but in another way, I think it's very bad for our country.
Right. The way she behaves is bad for our country. You know he was this close to saying she has a nice rack. She's really got a great body. I don't know. Maybe you saw this video of the guy, a currently unregistered Republican, who said he was disappointed in Trump's response or lack of response on January 6th and his handling of the pandemic, and the fact that Trump's own vice president said he isn't going to vote for him, but he wanted to give Trump a chance to win him back, and this was Trump's response.
The vice president, I disagree with him on what he did. I totally disagreed with him on what he did. Very importantly, you had hundreds of thousands of people come to Washington. They didn't come because of me. They came because of the election. They thought the election was a rigged election, and that's why they came. Some of those people went down to the Capitol. I said, peacefully and patriotically, nothing done wrong at all, nothing done wrong. And action was taken, strong action. Ashley Babbitt was killed. Nobody was killed. There were no guns down there. We didn't have guns. The others had guns, but we didn't have guns.
Oh, my God. It was like a whole row of Melanias looking at him. And he's now referring to, I don't know if you noticed, the January 6th rioters as we. We didn't have guns. The others had guns. The others had guns. You mean the police? Yes, the police your animals attacked had guns. And 4 people died that day. And they wanted to hang Mike Pence, but he called it a day of nothing but love. And then we have the storming of the Daniels. We learned last night from Rachel Maddow that over the summer, Trump's lawyers tried to make a second hush money payment to keep Stormy quiet about her affair with Trump, which is, to me, a lot of money to pay a person you didn't have sex with to not tell anyone you had sex with him. She already told us he's bad in bed and hugged like a baby mushroom. I don't know what more she could have to reveal, but Trump's director of communications, Stephen Chung, seen here for comic effect, he did not deny it. He said the information came from an illegal foreign hacking attack against President Trump. I wonder if there are any foreigners who are still upset with Donald Trump over the Stormy Daniels thing. I think, oh, yes. Right, there is that one. She hates him more than she hates Christmas, I'm telling you. And the information did not come from foreign hackers. Stormy's lawyers voluntarily shared it with MSNBC. At this point, the best move for Trump might be to pay himself to keep quiet, because I'll tell you something, there's one group of voters who may have an outsized impact on this election, and that is Mormon voters, who generally don't approve of married men being spanked by porn stars. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has more than 600,000 members in Nevada and Arizona, which could easily decide who wins those states. And there's a pretty good chance Trump thinks the Latter-day Saints are a football team from New Orleans. But Vice President Harris and Trump have been campaigning hard to get their votes. Over the weekend, Trump zoomed into an LDS for Trump event in Arizona. The Harris campaign has been sending surrogates to talk to Mormon voters in person, which is actually very easy for Pete Buttigieg. He doesn't even have to change clothes. He just rides up on his bike and they let him ride in the house. Now, one more thing before we forge ahead, because it's Thursday night, and with deference to our religious viewers, Mormon or otherwise, it is time to bleep and blur the big TV moments of the week. It's time for This Week in Unnecessary Censorship.
Our search is underway in the Hollywood Hills area for an injured deer with a large...
He's got the smallest... His is like so small.
Here's Freddie Freeman, who in the final week of the regular season injured his... The doctors told him, look, buddy, this is like a 4 to 6 week injury. He said, I gotta find a way to...
We live in an era dominated by social media when all that matters is a 10-second job.
As Vice President of the United States, I have over 150 world leaders.
She won't... She's not gonna... She's not gonna... Pennsylvania, please, Pennsylvania, remember, she's not f***ing.
Please forgive my attire. We've been out f***ing all day, and as soon as I finish with you, I'm going back out.
Well, that's the proper attire for doing that.
I'm just a good old boy that made his living in the f***ing business. We got any fuckers out there? I know we got one over there.
Okay, sometimes my is so soft. I want to it because it's so cozy, but then I'm like, am I a tool?
The whole thing. I just go straight in.
You put the whole in your mouth?
I do. I like to live on the wild side.